Hey everybody, this is Tristan, and welcome to my channel. I just really wanted to talk for a minute about how some people think that, well, first of all, I know it's a little late, but here's my opinion on the Second Amendment, gun violence, and everything else like that. Alright, it's pretty much like this. How I read the Constitution is that the Second Amendment is for a well-armed state militia, i.e., what we have now as the National Guard and National Guard Reserve, to have the ability to have arms and weapons for the protection of each state. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate about this. I personally don't own a gun. I don't want to own a gun. Gun violence is a stupid thing, and I think we should have more gun control. I don't think that a private citizen should have an assault weapon. If anything, we should take a stance like the British have, and we're only allowed to have shotguns, because shotguns are useful for hunting. And that's about it. We don't need AR-15s and P90s and AK-47s out in the streets when our own police officers have, you know, Glocks and maybe a shotgun in their car. They are severely under-equipped for what a private citizen has. Personally, that's my opinion. And, I'd love to hear about what your opinion is on this matter. I also think it's really stupid how it took 26 meaningless deaths, and 20 of them had to be children, for any sort of movement within government about gun control, gun policies. That's just ridiculous. It's not something that should take that much violence and innocent killing to have any sort of movement within our government. Another thing is, and this is all prompted because I'm having an argument on Facebook with some parents who believe that schools need to be more secure and safe. And having been a product of the lackluster United States educational system, I have seen so many improvements to school security that, honestly, if we just had tighter gun control, and if we just had, more education and more social safety nets for people who have issues that are mental issues that need help, we would be able to solve it. We don't need metal detectors in elementary schools and 8 cops in elementary schools. We don't need teachers that have guns. In fact, I can guarantee you that somewhere in the United States, if it were across the country just okay for teachers that have guns in the classroom, I can guarantee you either one of two things would happen. A student would get a hold of that gun and shoot someone, or a teacher would shoot someone. Maybe not intentionally, but I have seen people get really, really angry in school and throw desks. So it's not a huge leap from throwing desk to grabbing your teacher's gun. People don't think about that. People don't understand what's actually going on in the mind of someone who does something like that. That it's always blamed on mental illness, but sometimes people just snap. I'm not, saying that what they did in any shooting whatsoever is okay. Trust me, I'm not. I don't like violence at all. But the thing about the shootings and everybody going, we want to have guns and stuff, is more gun deaths happen within the family by a family-owned gun when it involves children. More single victim gun crimes are committed than mass shootings a year. And the fact is, gun violence hasn't been on the rise. It's been steady. It's just a juicy story now about how guns are violent. And that's what the media, because they're 24 hours a day, they latch onto, and they want to keep talking about gun violence and gun violence and gun violence because it gets views, because it's so prevalent right now. I mean, I'm too young to remember Columbine, but from what my parents have told me is 6 months after Columbine, it seemed like every school was on lockdown, every school had metal detectors, everybody was just really, really secure. And about 6 months after Columbine happened, started a false sense of security set in, that everybody was secure, so they laxed a little bit. Same thing with Virginia Tech. Nobody thought that anybody would go on a college campus and shoot a school up. You know, but that's the thing, is it was a false sense of security. And then Aurora happened. And that was horrible. But you know what? The people, the Marine couple that were both Marines, they caught so much crap for not having guns with them and stopping a shooter who would have been way more, like, he had more guns than they would have if they had been carrying their handguns. Like, they would have just ended up dead. Because if you're wearing body armor is to protect you against handgun bullets, really. They don't stop against AK-47s if you're a police officer. You would need to be wearing a lot more body armor than that. They slow bullets down, they catch some bullets, but you can still get internal injuries, and if the bullet's going fast enough from an assault weapon, you'll still get a hole in you. It might not be as bad as if you just were shot without wearing body armor, but you're still going to get a hole in you. So, really, gun violence is dumb. You know, the media didn't report on the other shooting, really, that happened in Aurora a couple days ago. You know, violence is something that gets views. And if that's what you are as a media person trying to get, is views and viewership, then you're going to stick with the violence. There's a whole lot more issues that really need to be discussed and put before violence that the media should be discussing. But they're not, because they don't want to. That's, you know, that's my views on gun violence and the Second Amendment. Is that, one, gun violence is not on the rise. It's steady. It's just more prevalent in the media because that's what they like to report on right now. Two, Second Amendment is not for the private citizen. I believe that the founders would have said the private citizen, or a citizen of the United States, has the right to. They pretty much spelled out everything else in the Constitution. Why not this? Why is it so ambiguous? And that they meant a well-armed state militia, not your private citizenship. If you're a private citizen and want to own a gun, join the National Guard, join the Army, join the Air Force, join the Marine Corps, then you can own a gun. If you're that gun horny, wanting that gun so bad, join the militia, join the Army, do that. So, pretty much those are the 2 points I want to talk about. Is gun violence is not on the rise, it's staying steady, it's just reported on more. Second Amendment is about a state militia, i.e. National Guard. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be talking more about stuff and issues that happen when I can. I'm going to try and put out a video every other day. Thank you. If you don't like the video, like and subscribe, because we can have a discussion. I will see you later, guys. Thank you for listening.